Hi, folks, and welcome back to This Week, where we spotlight voices shaping the future of conservatism in California and beyond. Today's guest is Edward G. Lewis, Vice Chairman level of the Republican Jewish Coalition and Co-Chairman of the California Trump Victory Finance Committee. A lifelong Republican and staunch supporter of Israel, Ed has been active in GOP politics since the Reagan era. He's attended White House dinners, helped fundraise for leaders like Trump, McConnell, and Tom Cotton, and sat front row for history during President Trump's visit to the Western Wall. Beyond politics, Ed's legacy stretches into philanthropy, real estate, and the arts. From endowing a law chair at USC to preserving historic LA theaters and supporting Israeli veterans, his career blends civic duty with conservative values. Today, we dive into the decades of experience that shaped his worldview and what keeps him in the fight. Well, welcome, Ed.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you. You've been involved with the Republican Party since the 1960s. What originally brought you into the Republican Party?
I got very disillusioned with Carter, and the country was just going down the toilet, and with the hostages and everything else, and I got and started getting involved with Reagan, and I I guess it's been in my DNA because I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. And how have you seen the country evolve since Reagan? Because so much has happened, right? Reagan had, I would say, generational impact on the country, but so much has happened since.
Our party has changed. Mm-hmm. The system has changed, and it's changing right in front of us, for crying out loud. I'm going to be 80 years old in a couple of weeks. So I'm at the back of the bus now. You guys are the ones that are driving it, but it's a very exciting time. The president is changing the world as we sit here. It's so exciting, so dynamic that, you can just, I feel it. I just feel it happening. And it's guys like you that we want to attract to the party. It's the most important thing we can do now. And everything is topsy-turvy and da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da. But look who is driving the bus now, okay? We have the strongest president in my lifetime, and he is changing the world as we sit here. I can't even keep up with it. He's moving so fast. Mm-hmm. So we just had Speaker Johnson here last week, and
at an event that you
that I hosted him.
Yeah.
And I had him here last year. We had him at the Peninsula Hotel. Mm-hmm. We had 70 people there, and we raised $900,000.
That's amazing.
This year, we had, I think, around 120 at my good friend Jeff Palmer's home, which is just magnificent. And thank you, Jeff, for all that you do. I just got the latest figures. We are over 1.4 million, knocking at the door at 1.5 for that event. So I'm very, very happy. And I want to thank everybody that attended, including you.
Well, thank you for having me.
The speaker was just knocked my socks off. I mean, he is so amazing, and that he even got that bill passed. The Republican Party, particularly in the House, reminds me of a circular firing squad. Mm-hmm. They're always, they never can get it together. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats, the order is jump off the bridge, and they're all lined up and ready to go. Nobody questions anything. So I give Johnson a tremendous amount of credit for getting the entire party behind him. And he didn't get one single Democratic vote, not one.
Yeah, their party is so awful. I do want to take it back a bit to your history with Trump. Because this is something we were just talking about on a little bit earlier. How did you originally meet him?
I first met Donald J. Trump at the New York Friars Club in 1977 at a stag roast for Steven Seagal.
Look at that.
A crazy man who carried a gun on him in those days, but now he lives in the Soviet Union. I was involved with the Friars Club for like 25 years. So and Donald was very involved in, he was an active friar, and he was like the king of New York.
Yeah.
And I've been a supporter and fundraiser for him since his first campaign announcement in 2015, and my life literally changed on May 22nd, 2017, when I was in Jerusalem and I watched him as the first United States sitting president to ever put on a yarmulke and pray at the Western Wall. And it was a transformational moment for me because I really believed then and now that God, Hashem, chose him to lead the Jewish people. And I've been working for him full time ever since.
And what did that moment, how did that, like, because that's an important moment, right?
Well, listen, he's just amazing. And he gets his strength from his family.
Mm-hmm.
And by just being around him all the time, I've gotten close to Eric and to Don Jr. and to Ivanka and to Kimberly Garfoyle.
Mm-hmm.
And just by being around them, it like rubs off.
Yeah.
And but he's gotten better, the president. He's always the same.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he talks the same way. He talks the same way to world leaders as he does the gardener or the people that take care of him. Yeah. And he's always multitasking. He's always doing 3 or 4 things at the same time, never one.
Yeah.
And probably one of always the true highlights for me is having dinner with him when he plays the music.
Yeah. He's like the DJ.
Yeah. And he does a lot of opera. He'll do Pavarotti with James Brown in the same concert. I mean, he just,
that's so funny.
And he knows he feels it.
Mm-hmm.
And he generates it. And I mean, it's just when he does the dance and everything else, I mean, it's just amazing. So I'm very involved I want to help him promote the image.
Yeah.
And to be very simplistic about it, the Biden administration, they were grifting the Chinese government for years. The only difference was they were doing it under the table and taking as much money as they possibly could whenever they could. What we are doing is we are promoting the brand worldwide.
Mm-hmm. And
anytime that you see,
that's one of your pins that you got there.
This is one that we're working on, and just like Napoleon, we're gonna import the Trump brand to Asia, to Europe, to the Middle East, to everywhere.
That's amazing.
And today you cannot turn on a radio station, a TV program, any kind of newspaper or printed material and not see the word Trump on it.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or indifferent, it's out there. And that's exactly where the president likes it.
Uh-huh.
And the more that it's out there, the more power that it becomes, the more power that it has, the more he can do. And that's how simple it is. And so we're going to be selling watches. We're going to be selling everything. And it's going to drive the Democrats nuts. It already has.
Yeah.
The Trump derangement syndrome is already at such high levels here in California. You can't believe it anyway. So I want to show you some of the stuff that he's given to us.
Show me that hat. Yeah.
Yeah. This was one at a dinner for the Michael Watley did this, and the president personally signed them. And Michael said, "That's the last time we're going to do those. It costs too damn much." But he's done a great job with the RNC. And one of the things that we want to do is we want to grow the party.
Mm-hmm.
because it's not the party of the rich old white men in the country club now. We've changed it, and we're attracting Latino voters, we're attracting black voters, we're attracting Asian voters because they've had enough with the Democrats, and particularly the Latino voters here in California. You know, they have strong Catholic values. I think it's amazing that we have our first American Pope, for crying out loud.
Oh, that's terrific. Yeah.
Yeah. And we need religion. That's the first thing that this president did is, and also that I want to tell you that Johnson does the same thing.
Yeah.
When we started the dinner with Johnson, the first thing that he did was he said a prayer.
Yeah.
Bringing God back into the country is an important, one nation under God.
Under God. This country was founded on Judeo-Christian values.
Hello.
Yeah. And we need to maintain that.
And this president is doing it. I mean, the last one was an abortion.
Basically.
Yeah, and the other problem that I have, with the younger generation today, they have a different moral values. In the old days, it was right or wrong, good or bad.
Yeah.
And today we're victims of this thing. This thing runs our bloody lives, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And part of it's good. I mean, I didn't have it growing up. We didn't have computers when I went to law school. You had to do it the old-fashioned way and read books. But we're living in a great time with a great president. People have to be just a little patient. He is not looking at what the stock market is going to be next week. He's looking at what the country's going to be in the next century. So we need to be a little patient, but he is delivering, and I'm very grateful and happy that I can be able to provide a small little part. Whenever he comes to Southern California, he calls me, and we put something together for him. Johnson is doing and the other thing that's important to communicate, politics is a game sport. You cannot do it alone. And at this precise moment in time, we have all three branches, House, Senate, and the White House. It doesn't last very long. The president knows that he doesn't have that long. That's why he's working 28 hours a day. The man doesn't sleep, and he is making accomplishments that nobody even talks about, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And the evil press, they're going overboard with the Trump derangement syndrome, and I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with it.
Yeah.
And the spat with Elon Musk, that'll pass.
Yeah,
that'll pass.
I agree.
And I feel very good about where we are, where we're going, and who's driving the bus, because he's going to deliver for us. He's the best president we've ever had. We need to change the politics here in California.
I agree. And I think you mentioned a few different things, and they kind of called back to something I heard Speaker Johnson mention at the fundraiser, that right now, especially with the bill, they're trying to lay out the foundation for the next 12 years. They're not thinking about the next year. They want to have the Republican Party has the unique opportunity to have transformational change for the next decade.
Yes.
In the country.
Yes.
And get us back to a place of common sense.
So we're looking good in the Senate. In fact, we have an opportunity to even grow the number even larger. The House is going to be more difficult, and everything that we've accomplished, everything that we've done, everything that we fought for, we will lose next year if Hakeem Jeffries becomes Speaker. So we cannot let that happen, and the road to keeping the House runs through California. Yeah. We have key races here that we must win. And anything that your people can do to help us in that regard. And we also want to grow the ranks. We want to increase the number of Republican voters that we have here in California. We need to change the school districts.
I agree.
And we need to bring the government back to the people.
I agree. One seat that we have to get back is Mike Garcia's seat.
Yeah.
that seat has to be. There's you mentioned there is a big Hispanic population that is, and I say this a lot in a lot of different conversations, that in terms of values, Latinos match with the Republican Party almost 100%. And it's purely because of our Christian values match that, right? And I think that there's just been so much propaganda from the Democrats to fearmonger Latinos to separate them from their own interests, that it makes people vote against their own interests. But I think people are waking up, like you said.
Yeah. I mean, it's ridiculous, and the amount of taxes that we pay in California, it's absurd. Yeah. Particularly at the pump. I mean, we're paying 25, 30 cents a gallon in taxes every time you put a gallon of gas in your car, for crying out loud. It's the highest in the country. Yeah.
And they're closing 2 refineries too by the end of the year, and that'll make it go up. We'll have to import oil.
Yeah, and Sacramento, I mean, it's just with the supermajority that's in there, we're going from bad to worse. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Carl DeMaio has this voter ID initiative that I think can help a lot.
I think it's terrific. We need to do that, and we also need to get control of the schools. I mean, that's where we used to have one of the best school systems in the country.
Yeah, we're 33rd in the nation now, I think. And we spend the most.
And we spend the most and get the least.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous, and it's because a lot of it has to do with the damn teachers' unions.
Yeah. They're all communists.
Yeah, and they've got a stranglehold on it. What we are trying to do now is to make sure that federal money goes directly to the parents so that they can decide how they want to educate their children, whether they want to send them to public school, private school, parochial school, or even self-educate them at home. But they'll be able to get the federal funds directly. And that would be huge. Yeah. Huge. We're working on that.
Yeah.
We're working on that. Linda McMahon, the educational secretary, friend of mine.
She's doing a great job.
Oh, they all are. Yeah. And Mike Garcia is the California chairman of the America First Policy Institute that I'm also a big supporter of.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I helped Mike on all 4 of his. He's won that seat like 4 times now.
Yeah,
the short one, and he had and the Susan, whatever her name was, she retired altogether after he whipped her the 3rd time.
Yeah.
And he was ahead 900. He was ahead almost 1,000 votes, and I congratulated him, and then the absentee ballots came in, and he lost, and it's that one never passed the smell test either, if you ask me. But
there's just so much fraud in the system.
Yeah,
I think we do need some level of accountability. I know that. I think is it down in Orange County or Huntington Beach that they did pass a voter ID law, and they're getting sued to oblivion. But that's how you have to start fighting back. Otherwise, I mean, just in LA County, I heard yesterday a conservative estimate is that there are 1 million illegal immigrants in LA, and how many of them are voting? How many of them are being involved in our voting system?
Yeah.
So they're really disenfranchising voters doing that.
Yeah. Well, and it was terrible what happened with the fires.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was Newsom, 100% Newsom.
Yeah.
He's the worst governor we've ever had, for crying out loud.
Newsom and Bass too.
Yeah, we need to get rid of both of them.
Yeah.
But, it's a process. And one of the ways that we do that is by increasing the size of the Republican Party in California. It's essential. And we should have membership drives. We should have events, and we should, look at getting that group together and mobilizing them and encouraging them to come on and educating them a little bit. Where the Republican Party was founded by Abraham Lincoln, for crying out loud. We are not the oppressors. That's what the Democrats always like to try to say.
But they're the ones.
The Democrats are the ones that were the Ku Klux Klan and all of the dark moments in history.
They fought for slavery.
Yeah, when I think back on it, I think one of the biggest mistakes that we made was taking out Saddam Hussein. I think that was a big, big, big mistake, and we spent trillions of dollars, and it's gone nowhere. And this president knew it at the time, knew it was a mistake, and said so.
He called it out, I remember, yeah.
And he's going to lead us forward, and I think he's going to change the entire Middle East. And it's not complicated. I mean, the one thing that Jews, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists, everyone has in common, they all like money. And that's what this president knows how to make and generate, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
And he's going to lead us forward, and I really believe, particularly after the assassination attempt, he speaks from God.
I believe that too.
He speaks from God,
Yeah.
and you just got to give him a little bit of time and trust him, and he's going to deliver for us.
And that's why I see the whole situation with like Elon and what's happening now. I see that as just noise and drama. I see Trump trying to do what's best for the country, and I don't know what Elon's motivations are and what his intentions are. There's speculation about him just being upset about certain things that the EV mandate or whatever. But you have to look at it. You have to look at it from a very simplistic point. Yeah,
he's now working full time for his companies.
Yeah,
for his companies and his shareholders, and that was precisely what you say.
Yeah,
I mean. But when he's working, when he crosses the line and goes over to the president, he works for the country. He's done an amazing job.
Yeah, just
amazing. And it was a little spat. Don't have a hernia over it. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And it's a very good, solid relationship, and thrilled to have him on board. And he's already done amazing things.
He has.
You don't realize what he's already accomplished. He directly put the flashlight on his country, on his former country, on how they're slaughtering the white farmers.
Yeah.
Elon Musk did that.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the whole world knows about it.
Yeah.
And he's to be thanked for that. He's the one that did it. And
the things he did with Doge too are amazing.
Yeah, and
USAID.
Oh, it's terrific, and I'm very thankful that he's on our side.
Yeah,
and we were both. I have to share something with your public here. We both have Tesla cars, and we were both telling each other about how much we like the cars. How
great
they
cars.
Perform. Yeah.
So Ed, you want to show us some of your trinkets?
Yeah.
This some of your bling.
This is one that I had made.
That's amazing. Trump 2024.
Yeah, and for the inauguration, this is what they gave. They gave you this one, which is the 47.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Can you get a close up of it or no?
Yeah, I can punch in on that one.
Oh, yeah. Great. And then this is one that we're working on. This is we're going to export this one now all over the world.
Yeah.
And the president grants these licenses. And
that's your watch. I was just going to ask you about it.
This is one of the Trump watches that was a limited edition, and it was wonderful the way they did this one.
Yeah.
The company that manufactured the watch sent you a certificate. You had to pay in advance, and they had 100% of the money before they even started it. And on the back, it has his picture and the number of the watch, because there are only 1,000 of them made. I'm number 462.
Wow.
And they're on the television now, and we're actively selling them, and we're going to do more.
I love that. When you first showed me that, I didn't get to see the picture because we were at the fundraiser, and you just showed it real quick.
Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful.
On the back it has his name and the number and the whole thing. And
The craftsmanship is so great.
yeah, very high end, and the packaging was amazing. You should see the packaging; it's over the top.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So, and even the little crown, you see, it got a jewel on it.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah,
yeah, and these are like real diamonds on the face. So this one they don't make anymore, but he has others.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
And we're not. So that's what we're actively doing, and the Trump brand is what we want to promote. And I had a dream that the president had just come off of the golf course. He had won his championship, and he had decided on that particular day that he wanted to do something.
Yeah.
And he decided that he would take out the Houthis.
Oh.
And this is the picture that I was able to get, and it's remarkable because this is how I've been to Mar-a-Lago a dozen times, and this is how the president dresses. He's either in a suit, or he's in his golf fatigues.
Yeah.
But this particular picture, I captured him when he just got off the golf course, and he had just taken out the Houthis. So I want you to see it because it's very special.
That's historic. I mean, here, let me. So tell me as much as you can. Obviously, I don't know if you can tell exactly everything that happened, but what that moment was like.
Well, what's significant about it was that someone was able to flash a picture because he doesn't usually. This isn't how the world usually sees him.
Yeah.
But it's how I see him. This is how he does it all the time. And what's significant on the picture is he's even wearing a Trump hat that's signed.
Signed. I see that.
Like the one that I have. So think about what the value of that is. And he's also got on his Trump golf shirt.
Yeah.
And it's got the Mar-a-Lago logo on it.
I can hold it. It says the world's most recognized brand is Trump. The Houthis are finding out that this brand means business. It's true. They're finding out. As the saying goes on the internet, FAFO.
Yes, yes. So anyway, it's very exciting. And the president's in very good spirits. You know that he's got an unbelievable team behind him. I've had the good fortune to work with Bergman. He's doing an amazing job as the Secretary of the Interior.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that I'm going to give you what I think is going to happen very quickly. We're going to be developing atomic energy very fast.
I hope so.
And with Bergman, he just made a major announcement that he is going to allow construction of atomic facilities on government land without regulation, which means you don't have to wait the 10 years to get all of the clearances and everything else. They can start construction this year.
And we desperately need that in this state.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Bergman's going to deliver it. He's terrific. His whole cabinet is terrific.
Yeah.
Kelsey Gabbard, I mean, everybody.
She's very sharp. Hegseth is doing a great job.
Yeah, and
Marco Rubio.
He's knocking it out of the ballpark.
He is.
And I feel very confident that he's just got a superior team. And if you're privileged enough to be able to work for him, it's a real honor. And I want to tell you, some of the people that I think should be awarded are the people that work for him, and particularly the ones that have been subjected to the lawfare because they loved him. His accountant was a real hero, a hero for God's sakes, that they imprisoned. I mean, I'd like to establish a society that honors employees who work for Donald J. Trump, take care of him and take care of his properties because they are amazing. They're just amazing, and it's such a treat to go to Mar-a-Lago. It's like Trump Disneyland.
Yeah.
And he supervises every inch of it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he's doing is he's going to construct a ballroom in the White House.
Interesting.
Because we've got it. We do it at Mar-a-Lago regularly.
Yeah.
He wants to do it at the White House. What better way?
Have a ballroom?
Yeah.
Event, what's that event like?
Yeah. Well, you have to wait and see. I mean, one of the things that he did, he completely redid the Oval. And I mean, it's really unbelievable. I've just seen glimpses of it. I haven't seen it personally.
Yeah.
But I have a little story that I'd like to share with you, which is very memorable for me. At one of the round tables, I've got 13 round tables under my belt with the president in Beverly Hills. It was right after the convention. I was able to give him this medallion that was made by a fellow by the name of Muniz. There were only 3 of them made. And it was the Mar-a-Lago crest in black. And on the left side in gold was 45, and on the right side, 47. And in the middle in gold, Donald J. Trump, president. And I was able to hand it to him.
Yeah.
And he looked at it, put it in his pocket, and I never heard a word about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we had a very tense contest in Michigan. I was able to help him deliver the Muslim vote. And on his first day in office, signing the executive orders, behind him on his right, on a little table, he had a display of all of these different wonderful pieces that were given to him.
Yeah.
I saw my medallion on the table behind him.
That's amazing.
The one that I gave him. And I got to tell you, my heart leaped when I saw it.
Yeah.
I was so thrilled to see it there. But, it's little things like that. So it's small. And I also was the one that started the 45-47 with him back in 2017, 18. I started that.
Yeah. How does that come about?
I was in Mar-a-Lago. I had the hat on. He looked at it and he liked it, and I handed it to him. And I said, what would be really special is if you put that on. But he wouldn't put it on. But he held it up, and there's a picture of me and my wife with that and that hat.
Yeah.
So the story of the hat was after the first mega hat, it was just 45.
Yeah.
The second edition of the hat had 45/47.
Yeah.
He got that from me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He liked it right away. And now, we own it.
Yeah. Well, that's great. You know, that's history right there.
Yeah. So small part of it, and it's just he just energizes everybody, and we're off to the and you can feel the movement.
Yeah.
I mean, with Biden it was stale.
It was.
And one hate, but the anti-Semitism now it's out of, and he is addressing it directly.
Yeah, thank God.
It's happening because of the schools. The schools are that's where they're getting it from.
Yeah, it's schools and TikTok.
Yeah, and he's aiming it, and if Harvard loses their tax exempt status, or they start taxing the endowment, you'll see changes real fast.
Oh yeah, they kind of just let it happen, and didn't do anything to protect the students on campus. Meanwhile, their own staff is pushing this, this pro-Hamas ideology.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It is.
It's terrible. But we're making progress. I had dinner last night with Mort Klein, who's the president of the Zionist Organization of America. I sit on their national board, and I'm very honored and happy to do that. And we're at a very dangerous time now. I mean, when you start killing Jews on the street, it's not good. It's
No, it's
not
not.
good. And when
Yeah.
you see people wearing these caliphas and that, it's not good.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who are there are a lot of very politically motivated people who are bringing the message of these terrorist organizations here, but there are a lot of useful idiots who don't understand what American Antifada means. And and the irony of seeing people like Gays for Gaza or Queers for Palestine. Like, do you understand that if you lived out there,
They'd kill you immediately.
Immediately.
Yeah.
It really is a strange time, but thank God that we have a good leader like him. I'm wondering, where do you see the country and the state going in the next few years?
It's not going to be in the next few years. It's going to be in the next few weeks. We are moving so fast, and this president has got control of it. He knows what he's doing. He knows where he's going, and he's got the right team around him. And they speak with one voice. That's the other thing that they keep saying. Well, there's dissension in the ranks and that, and is the president going to allow the Israelis to take out the nuclear facilities in Iran by force? Those are decisions that he will make at the right time, in the right way, and for the right reason. And you just, I can't think of anyone that's more competent right now than him. And he sees the big picture.
Yeah.
And his family. So one of the things that I was able to do, I had Vance for dinner. Which was a real treat. There were only about 20 of us, and he was there with his wife, and I got a chance to talk with him. And what he asked, is there anything that you'd like me to say to the president? And I said, yes, I'd like you to tell him and congratulate him on his new grandson, and that was a mitzvah from God for all the good work that he's been doing for the country. So he told me he would do that for me.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of tension. I know there's a lot of grief, but the stock market's up. I mean, come on, we're going in the right direction, for crying out loud.
And I think a lot of people are they're looking at just the moment instead of the bigger picture. What he's doing, especially with the tariffs, he's setting us up to essentially level the playing field, because there's so much that's been happening. Other countries, especially, I mean, my parents live in Portugal right now, and a conversation that comes up a lot, my mom asks me, like, why does it cost 20 euros for me to buy medication here and it costs 1,800 in America for the same medication? And I'm like, Mom, we're subsidizing your medical system there because they basically they set the prices for the medication, and then though the American companies that are selling you the product there for that price, they have to pass that cost back to the American consumer. So we're the ones subsidizing it. What he is doing is terrific, and I think it's a long play, and that's why a lot of people are not seeing it. A lot of his critics. But I think long term, we're going to be set really, really well. And
it'll start immediately. One of the things that he did, I represented some pharmaceutical distributors in my day, and they would always get all of their medications from Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico, there was a tax loophole that if you manufactured in Puerto Rico, you could import it duty-free into the United States, and it would say made in the USA.
Interesting.
Every pharmaceutical company in the world established bases in Puerto Rico, and for years, and they closed that loophole, and they all moved to Ireland. Now Trump is saying you'll pay 100% duties unless you manufacture it in the United States. If you manufacture it in the United States, no duty. You watch how fast those plants are going to go
They're
up.
all going to move back, and not just them. I think the steel industry is coming back.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps Hollywood also bring back movies.
So I had dinner last night with John Voight, and John, is the one of the ambassadors to Hollywood, and he mentioned, you have to be very careful with what you say to the president, because he mentioned the fact that he's having to make these movies in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I've heard that people will fly out for a whole month and just film there.
Yeah. But anyway, it's all good. And De Niro and the rest of these crazy Trump derangement syndrome, particularly The View. People are fed up with that crap. They don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
And also with Disney, thank God Disney is seeing the light, and they're they're putting on good content.
Yeah, this is a conversation that I've had with several people in the movement, and it's that we need to take back the cultural institutions, because that's the beating heart of the country. I mean, obviously the manufacturing is a big part, but ideologically, if you have huge companies just telling us that, this awful messaging, it seeps through, and that's how you see this younger generation coming up with no hope, thinking that America is an awful place. When you objectively go to any country outside of America, America is the greatest place to live.
No question. I have to tell you about a private story that happened on, I think it was November 13th.
Yeah.
And the president had been elected, and it was his first meeting with Biden after the election for about an hour.
Yeah.
And the president flew back from the White House to Mar-a-Lago, didn't even take off his tie, change his clothes, just took off his tie, came down to the pool, and boogied with us for a full day. And it was unbelievable. And he said, I had some business that I had to take care of in the morning, but I'm glad to be with you guys now. And it was just amazing. And we partied with him and we sang opera, and it was really exciting. This was America's Policy Institute. America First Policy Institute, AFPI, great group. Onward and upward.
So I want to ask you one last thing, because you're such a staple to politics and the Republican movement in California. How do you see us taking back this state? Because I think it's, like you mentioned, this is something Speaker Johnson said, that the victory at the House and at the Senate goes through California, but how do we turn this state red, where we have a Republican governor, a Republican assembly?
It starts, if we could get rid of the mayor and the governor, and that race is already heating up. It's still a little early, and the big question is whether they're going to run Kamala or not. What we have to do is just stay focused and get involved and grow the party. And the school district races, again, it's a political sport, and the more people that we get involved in on our side, the better it's going to be. And one of the things that, we really need is to put a harness on the fake news.
Yeah.
Because they've been lying to us for years.
Yeah.
And they continue to do it.
Oh, yeah. They do it all the time. I mean, they're just doing this whole situation we talked about earlier off camera about what was happening downtown with DHS. And the way they framed it as though the ICE agents were attacking them, when I was there and I saw the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I saw Antifa attacking our law enforcement.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very spooky, and we just need to stay focused and stay informed and support this president, because he's going to deliver. And if this bill gets passed, one of the major pieces that's important. It will put a leash on these out of control judges so that their rulings will be limited to the districts that they're in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one big important thing that Speaker Johnson spoke about. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a key piece. So, and we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. And that big, beautiful, it's going to have some changes on it. I'm very close to the guy from Wisconsin, and he's right. You know, we have to stop. We have a spending problem. We have a serious spending problem.
Yeah.
But, you know, and unfortunately, you know, I have to confess that you know, President Trump, you know, did his fair share of spending. You know, but at least we're going to be spending it wisely and a lot better than we did before. And the other thing that the budget office doesn't take into consideration is the stronger that the nation becomes, the world benefits.
Yeah.
The world benefits. And you know, Trump is not an isolationist, but in the meantime, you know, he's a businessman and he's been right from day one. And I've never felt more comfortable right now with the leadership that we have, because it's not going to, and the Senate's in good shape.
Yeah.
I mean, I've talked with the guy that's ahead of it. He's a good man, and Johnson delivered. We're all moving in the right direction. We don't have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because it's very fragile, and we have to make sure that we stay focused on the next election. So with that, I'd like to thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Ed. Well, thank you for coming on. I do appreciate you. This is I always learn something hearing you know, from the first time I met you, and thank you so much for having me at that fundraiser as well. That was it honestly felt like a movie. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was, you know, great people. It was great hearing the speaker. It was great meeting you there, and I'm just really grateful that I get to be a part of this movement, and you know, working with people like yourself. And you're pulling something up on your phone. I imagine it's a photo.
Yeah, it was of the event. I wanted to show it to you. This is where they took the pictures in front of this Picasso.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Can I show this?
Yeah. Just slide it through there a couple.
So that's a Picasso behind him.
Yeah, that's at Jeff Palmer's home.
That's amazing. Do you want to scroll to the next one? I don't want to.
No, you can just move your finger.
Yeah. There you go. There's Ed and a speaker.
Yeah, Speaker Johnson.
You want to scroll to the next one?
Yeah.
There's another one. That's great. That's Jeff Palmer.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful setting.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So this is the one that we're knocking at 1.5 million for that event.
If you're interested in helping contribute to the Republican cause here in California and in the nation, you know, feel free to reach out to me on any of my social media, and I'll make sure that I put you in touch with good people who can help you help however you want to help.
Great. And just getting people to first-time Republican voters are very important to us. We want to grow that. We want to grow that group. It's very important. And I encourage all of the listeners to stay involved politically, get involved with your school districts, get involved with the local county and state contests, because they make a difference. They make a difference, and people are fed up. California has just been ridiculous the way they've been spending our money for decades.
Yeah.
And we need to get a hold of it and change it, and you guys are the ones that can do it. So God bless you, and let's go Republican. Thank you.
Let's go Republican.